Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ron. Sorry if the mic's a little bit messed up. I forgot the little muff on top. Got the CineFlow, the iFlight CineFlow 5 with the O4 unit. Got the GoPro 13 mounted on top. Today's video, we're gonna just demo it down here at the beach. I wanted to see what the difference actually looks like between the camera, the GoPro 13, and the O4 Air Unit itself. Both have ND16 filters. Both are set to the same shutter speed, 1/120. I'm shooting at 4K 60 frames per second. And let's just give this a go. Make sure the GoPro's running. Got everything set up in camera. And let's do this. All right. Air mode, angle mode. Nice day out. So this is the first time that I'm actually flying it with the GoPro 13 attached to it. And it's also one of the reasons that I want to look at the footage. I want to look at the difference between the footage. I'm gonna get down here by the water a little bit. So, like I said, I have ND16s on both of these. Try to get the right look going. Let me circle back around. Pretty quiet down here at the beach still. This time of year. And like I said, this feels, even with the GoPro mounted on top of it, I wasn't sure how this was going to feel. Come back around. This CineFlow 5 handles the GoPro mounted on top of it really nice. This is still a very smooth feeling quad even with the GoPro mounted on it. Fly by the wife, I'm sure she liked that. And keep in mind, like I said, the winds today about 14 mile per hour. So it is a little windy. It's a little bit windy. I just want to get some nice footage. And like I said, demo. I don't want to put it in the water. They lost enough, lost plenty of drones in the water already. But I do want to see, I want to compare the footage, and I'm shooting in D-Log on the O4 Air Unit. So I'm gonna take that into post and convert it. Just hoping there was no netting there. But yeah, nice day down here at the beach. This is just a nice quad to fly too. I can't say it, I can't stress it enough. Especially for the type of flying that I do a lot of this kind of, you know, low to the ground, smooth. You know, I'm not a freestyle pilot, although I'd love to learn some of the moves. Skies just look so nice. I hope I nailed the angle on both the O4 unit itself and the GoPro so that they look very similar. Come back around again. And this is future me. Let me just cut into this video real quick and mention that I noticed right in the next minute, you're going to see the GoPro camera starting to slip forward. The angle wasn't steep enough, so you're not getting the sky in view as clearly as you should. I'm not sure how that happened. I don't know if it was a crosswind or something else, or the speed at which I was flying somehow moved the camera around. Maybe it just wasn't tight enough. I'm not sure how it moved forward, so my apology. This grass, so I really think that's where I'm going to see the difference in the image quality when I get closer to the something like that. Felt the wind, a little tailwind there. All right, I think I can definitely feel the wind a little bit down here by the water. Nice. Battery's looking good. Let's come around one more time. Let's see what's back here. A lot of tall grass. Look at that sky. Nice. That's one thing. You come down to a beach like this. Ooh. Okay, so I only brought one battery down with me today, which was because I actually went below where I should have went on the second battery I had. So these are the full send 1480 milliwatt hour 150C batteries that come with this particular quad. So I did it again. I was flying too long. I wasn't paying attention to the voltage on the battery, so I just destroyed this one. That's why it went down at the end. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put that in the video or not, but recovered it pretty quick. I could feel it sagging, but I wasn't watching the voltage because it is such a beautiful quad to fly. And you just want to keep going. I don't know what it is. It's the second time I've done this, not paying attention to my time because it just feels so good. And as I mentioned when I was flying, I got a little sand on there. As I mentioned when I was flying, even with the GoPro on there, it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel heavy like it did with some of the other quads that I've flown with in the past, which makes it really nice. It stays airborne, really kind of floats a little easier with less throttle, if that makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna put this in to post, edit it, take a look at the footage, and then I'll have a follow-up to my comparison between the O4 footage, what my thoughts are against the GoPro. And again, you can have a million different settings and tweaks on this stuff, so take it how you want. But this was 4K 60 frame per second that I'm gonna do sampling for. All right, see you guys soon. Okay, I'm back from the shore. Hope you made it this far. If you did, thank you. Okay, now that I've had a chance to look at the raw footage, I've looked it over, I can say without question that the GoPro 13 Black shooting at 4K 60 frame per second does look cleaner, and I can absolutely see more detail in the GoPro 13 footage. Again, I'm looking at the raw 4K footage on my PC at home versus what you're looking at watching this video on YouTube. And YouTube, again, does compression, so you're not seeing it exactly the way I'm seeing it, even if you're watching on a 4K monitor. Now, with that being said, the DJI O4 Air Unit Pro produces some amazing footage that's very, very usable and especially good for FPV. And everyone's using these action cameras differently. Again, I'm addressing the issue specifically from an FPV drone pilot perspective. And I'll also quickly mention I was shooting in wide angle mode on the GoPro 13 while the O4 Air Unit Pro was set to ultra wide for its camera view setting. Obviously, there's a ton of camera view settings within both of these cameras, so my apology if the two comparison videos didn't line up perfectly. I've got linear, I've got wide, I got super view, hyper view on the GoPro 13 alone, and you've got a number of settings on the O4 Air Unit Pro as well, like ultra wide, wide, and normal. So you'd have to sync these up exactly to get an exact comparison. Now, I feel like we're splitting hairs at this point when you start putting footage side by side with each other. When you don't do a side by side comparison, it's very hard to say which camera performs better than another. So if I'm just using the DJI O4 Air Unit Pro footage, I'm extremely happy with what I'm seeing. Plus it saves me a ton of time not having to mount a separate action camera on top of my iFlight quad, which I Really do like. However, if I had to pick a definitive winner here, it's got to be the GoPro 13 Black without question. When you start looking at the detail, things like the sky, the clouds, you can clearly see how much more detail is in the sky with the GoPro 13 over the O4 Air Unit Pro. You can absolutely see more detail in the sand as well. When you start, like I said, pixel peeping and looking into it, you're going to see a lot more detail. I could see a lot more of the video image. Like I said, the footprints in the sand, the little seashells, things like that. There's a lot more detail in the GoPro 13 from what I was seeing. Now, we could talk about color profiles, color grading, shutter speed, creative LUTs, regular LUTs, a ton of other settings we could tweak all day long. I don't have the luxury of testing every possible setting or combination out there between these cameras. So my goal here simply today was to confirm for myself if the footage coming out of the GoPro 13, which is GoPro's best camera to date right now, outperforms the image quality for the type of flying that I do, and in my opinion, it clearly does. So if you're flying FPV under different lighting conditions and settings than I am, I shoot a lot of stuff in the direct sunlight, down by the beach, by the shore, again, very bright, very sunny. It works great for me, but your results may be different depending on how you're shooting and what you're using the footage for. So with that being said, I'm going to let you decide for yourself if the DJI O4 Air Unit Pro is good enough for the type of shooting that you're doing. In 90% of the cases, I would say it absolutely is, but in 10% of the cases, I would probably still mount an external action camera like a GoPro 13 on my quad for those times when I need the absolute best cinematic looking footage. I hope that helps. And before I end this video, I'm well aware that many of you absolutely prefer the DJI Action 5 camera over the GoPro cameras. In lower light conditions, they clearly perform better. But again, for my taste, for what I like to shoot, the GoPro 13 is still my preferred camera for capturing the best FPV video footage. And I really do like the camera stabilization that GoPro provides as well. I don't have to use GyroFlow. I'm very familiar with GoPro's Hyper Smooth Pro. So that's it for this video. I hope you got some value out of it. I haven't really seen too many videos comparing the O4 Air Unit Pro against the GoPro 13. So hopefully this video helps quite a few of you out. And if you got any value out of this video, do me a favor, leave a like, subscribe, maybe leave a comment down below. It's always appreciated. That's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.
The sun going down to the sky.